Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my almost decorated living room. I do have the tree up. We do have a few things. I'm still in the process of decorating, but I don't know, for me, it takes me probably up until the time Christmas comes and I'm still decorating. But I wanted to sit down today and do a little video, a video about walking through grief during the holidays and the Christmas season. If you've been following me for a while, you will know that my mom passed away on December 27th, 2013. So 2 days right after Christmas. And I remember how I felt during that time, just like it was yesterday. And sometimes, and to be quite honest, I can still have those same feelings even 9 years later. So I know it's really, sometimes it's a difficult season, especially if you just lost somebody in your life. So I thought I would just sit down today and share a little bit about how I got through it, or how I'm still dealing with it, and maybe hopefully there's something that I will say that can help you get through this time as well. So just to give you a little background, my mom was diagnosed with cancer in October 2012. And I can tell you the exact date, October 18th, actually. And the reason why, I don't know, I guess one of the reasons why it sticks out in my mind is because, first of all, the boys were about 6 months old. My parents were living here with us, helping us. So it was during a happy time that within a few hours completely went downhill from there. My mom at that point, I always say, my mom passed away on December 27th, but I lost her on October 18th. And really, it was difficult for her, obviously, to deal with. And at that point, I can truly say my grief, or even a deep sadness, had started at that point already. So she passed away the following year, so that was 2013. I think about that day quite often, not because I want to dwell on it. It's just, if you've experienced being with a loved one during the time that they pass away, it is a completely life-changing, life-altering experience that you don't ever quite forget. And you will carry that moment with you for the rest of your life. And obviously, yes, I don't want to make it all sound depressing. It is depressing, but it does get, I don't want to say better in time, it just becomes a new normal way of your life. So that's just a little bit about, my experience with my mom, passing away. She had cancer, uterine cancer, and it was just, it was slow, but it was quick. Really a year and a couple of months, and then she was gone. So I remember the last Christmas that we spent with her. It was in the hospital. Obviously, she was already starting to shut down. So I remember that day. I remember the day she passed away, and I could tell you that from December 27th on, that entire year, that entire first year, was probably the most difficult year of my life. And if you are in that place now, I want to offer you my support and my prayers, and giving you a little bit of hope that as time goes on, and I will not say it heals all wounds, I don't believe that, but I do believe you get to a point where you're able to function, and that's important. Function in your daily life without having to feel that constant heaviness in your heart. As time moves on, you get to realize that, well, let me backtrack. Obviously, everybody is going to die. And, this is part of life. Death is part of life. Your life here on this earth while you're here. So as time goes on, you will start to slowly enjoy things that you did before this happened. It will never be the same. I'm going to be quite honest with you. If you are somebody who's been through grief and you can tell me that you feel like it's the same as it was before, I'm happy for you because I haven't experienced that yet, but I do feel more adjusted to the difference of not having my mom here and having to go through that grief. I wanted to also talk about a few things that I did and my sister did to help us right after that time, right after she passed away. We both spent a lot of time with our priest at our church. We had one-on-one meetings with him. Just really, I think for both my sister and I, we were feeling a little discombobulated. I love that word. In our faith, and a little shaken, and maybe questioning, what was going on in our minds and in our hearts. My mom was a wonderful woman of faith, and early on in the diagnosis, we both questioned why God would choose my mom, or why would this happen to her. And as time went on, you realize that it does, cancer, sickness, accidents, these are not things that are put upon you and your family on spite or, God's doing. It's just part of the journey. And I think, for my sister and I, spending a few meetings with our priest really helped us. Eventually, I'm not going to say in the beginning, eventually it really did resonate with what we were being told to help us. My sister and I also participated in a online group grief therapy. It was specifically for family members who have lost a loved one with cancer. And we both participated in that. And it was just like an online forum, just like a chat where you can go on, tell your story, and speak to people who may have been through that experience or are going through that experience, some grief counselors. It was just very, very helpful, more than what I thought it would be. I didn't want to have anything to do with therapy at that point. I think I was just too angry to be able to be receptive to sitting in a group therapy in person. So my sister actually found this first. And when she told me about it first, I still wasn't like, I don't know, I don't know if I wanted to sit around and listen to other people talk about their, their grief. But you know what? It actually helped. Their stories distracted me, for a good half hour or however long I was on there talking with them. It just distracted me and from my own personal grief. And I found that I was offering, condolences and, oh, things will get better and you're going to be okay, to people that I did not know, but felt such a need to help them and to help them feel better, that it just would distract me from my own grief. So I will leave some resources in the description below for some grief, online grief support groups. I would like to try to find the one that we did attend. I'll see what I can do. That was quite a few years ago. One of the other things I think that helped me as well is my family. My mom had, there were 7 of them, brothers and sisters. So having the support of them around us, I think really helped as well. My aunt, my mom's youngest sister, immediately stepped in for my mom when she wasn't able to be here anymore. Because like I said, my boys were 6 months old. And, my husband already had gone back to work, and I was trying to, juggle feedings and everything else during that time. So my aunt, Chris, definitely wouldn't have made it through that time without her. So I think if you have close family members that are near you, that live near you, or even if they don't, I think frequent visits and talking helps. And there are going to be times when you don't want to be bothered with your family, and that is perfectly okay as well. I did experience a lot of that as well. They're going through their grief as well, losing a sister. So everybody had, different ways of handling it. So that definitely, should be taken into consideration. You're not, I want to say you're not the only one grieving, but, everybody around you is pretty much in the same situation, feeling the same way. And the best thing to do is to lean on each other for support. One of the other ways that my sister and I dealt with our grief was not cleaning out my mom's things right away. Now, I know that this is a personal choice, a personal decision for you to make. If you're in that situation where someone has just passed away and now you're going to have to go through their things. You're going to have to maybe sell a house, donate clothing items, just all of that. My sister and I, along with my dad, didn't really have any urgency for that stuff to be put away or taken away. We actually waited probably, close to about 3 or 4 years before we went through her things and, donated or, took mementos that we wanted, and I think that helped us. Like I said, that's a personal decision for you to make. Some, just want to get it all done and put away and put in the past. And that's fine. You have to do what is good for you. I just know for us, especially me and my sister, there was no way that we were going through that stuff. I couldn't even bring myself to be in the house without her there, never mind have to go through anything, you know, to go through her stuff. That just wasn't going to happen. So I think that you should, you know, have those conversations with your siblings, if it's a parent, or, you know, whatever the situation is. You have to really figure out how you want to, you know, handle it. And there is no right or wrong. And you just have to go along. You have to follow your heart and how you feel during that time. I did write a few a few blog posts, not articles, blog posts about this. And I will link them below as well. Before I had the YouTube channel, you know, I still have my blog. I did write about it so for me, writing is like therapy. And so I did write about my grief journey on my blog, and I will link that below as well. And speaking of writing, the one thing that I'll share lastly is I have been journaling for many years. It was actually something that my mom encouraged and started me doing. So from the day that she passed away, I wrote her a letter every day for the first year that after she passed away. And so I have these collections of letters that are my feelings, and, you know, just really helped me, I think, stay connected with her, and really helped me through that first year. I don't know, you know, not everybody likes to write, but, you know, I'm sure that everybody talks to their loved ones, you know, in their mind or out loud. But, you know, these are things that helped me get through at least that first year, that really hard first year. So I wrote her a letter. Some days it was just really a heart-wrenching, detailed letter, basically telling her how much I missed her. And some of it was insane, and you know, some of it was me questioning things that I couldn't possibly get an answer to from her or anyone else. But, you know, it's a little bit like therapy for me. And the last letter I wrote, I wasn't intending it to be the last one, but I kind of got to the point where I felt like I don't have to do this anymore. It's not necessary for me to do it anymore. So I haven't written a letter to her for quite a while. But that letter writing was also something recommended to me. It may have been in the group therapy for the grief group. And they said, the one thing that I have not done that was also recommended was for me to write a letter back from my mother's point of view back to me. And that would somehow provide closure. I have not done that. I don't know if I will. But, you know, I could certainly understand, I guess, in ways, you know, that it might help. But I just wanted to let you know that you are not alone. You're not alone in your feelings. It is perfectly normal. And I will tell you, I still experience a lot of grief. A lot of, you know, sadness. I would say from October through December is really hard for me, hard for my sister and my dad. We tried to make the best of it. Thank God we had our boys to really, that's really what kept all of us going. And it will get to feel more normal. Not easier. I wouldn't say that. But you will start to feel more normal, a little more at ease with the situation. And I hope that, in time, you'll be able to have that same feeling. You love the person you lost, and you always will, and they love you too. And as always, they're not maybe here with you physically, but they are always here with you. And I think that eventually provides you some kind of comfort, or maybe not. But I just wanted to, share my thoughts about, it's not always a happy season for everyone. And I certainly 100% relate with that. Sometimes it has to be forced. As awful as that sounds, it does. But you will get through it. And I promise you, it does, become part of your life where you are, able to move on. But if there is anything, if you have any questions, or, you want to talk to me about your grief journey, I am certainly here. It doesn't have to be in the comments below. If you want to keep it, private, please reach out. My email is below. My email is, always, you can always DM me on any of my social media accounts, and I'd be happy to, help you any way I can. It's a rough time for a lot of people, and you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to feel like, you're not normal, because, it's normal. It's part of life. Death is part of life, unfortunately. But, if you have faith, I would say lean into your faith. Do what you can, what you feel comfortable with, and you will get through this holiday season. You will get through the holiday season next year and the year after that. Just gotta hold on a little bit, get through that rough time. That first year is really rough, but you will get through it. That's it, my friends, before I start bawling my eyes out. I hope that you found this, video helpful. If you have, please let me know below. I wish you and your family a very blessed, happy, Merry Christmas. And I hope that, in time, you'll find it just part of your normal holiday season. What can you do? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch today. And I hope that, if you're new here, you will consider subscribing. I, would love to have you as part of my family here. Thank you so much, friends. Have a great day.